Okay, in today's first Women's World Cup semi-final, the Dutch have beaten the Italians 2-0 in Valenciennes. The heat had a massive impact on this game. It's so far been the hottest day of the year in the Northern Hemisphere in Europe. And yes, the heat had a massive impact, and it meant it was a slower paced game. A lot of mistakes in the game, a lot of misplaced passes, lots of misplaced crosses and passes going out of play on the full. And the Italians started the game better. They had some good chances in the first half. They had the better chances in the first half that were actually more clear-cut coming down the Italian right. The issue was that when that first water break came on 30 minutes, they didn't really wake up after that. So up until 30 minutes, the Italians were better with the better side, playing on the counter-attack. After that point, the Dutch slowly took control of the game. It was 0-0 at half-time. No goals in the first half. And half-time was also a big turning point. That length of time in the dressing room, the heat's obviously taken a massive impact. That change in temperature to then get back up to speed in that kind of heat and humidity that was pushing the mid-30s, if not high 30s, and high humidity. The Dutch managed to adapt to the conditions better, which I thought would be surprising. I thought the Italians would be better in the heat, considering geographically where the countries are. The Dutch adapted far better to the heat. And then it was just constant Dutch pressure at the beginning of the second half throughout until the final whistle. The two goals come from Spitzer free kicks, both from set plays, because as I felt that the longer the game went on, the Dutch were wasting these opportunities. The Italians have this counter-attack, and they could spring a surprise. But by this point, by the time of the first goal in 69 minutes, the Italians are pretty much legless at this point. They are exhausted. They've got no pace in attack, pushing the other way. Miedema gets yet another goal, this record Dutch goal scorer. Stupid amount of goals for her age, and she continues to break records. It comes from a free kick. It's a silly free kick to give away on the left-hand side by the Italians. Spitzer crosses it into the box, and Miedema powers the header, past the Italian goalkeeper, Giuliani. I mean, Giuliani's had a great tournament, has pulled off some very, very good saves, has played very, very well, but she wasn't stopping that. Even though she got a hand on it, there's just too much pace on the ball. Very similar for Van der Graat's goal as well. Another headed finish. Again, a Spitzer free kick, this time from the Italian right. Again, another silly free kick to give away. And again, a powerful header that does the goalkeeper for pace. Absolutely does the goalkeeper for pace. And I felt the better team did win. They adapted the conditions far better than the Italians. They played with a bit more pace that I think also troubled the Italians because they were boxing them in to their defensive zone. That by the time the Italians got the ball back, they were too tired to do anything with it. The Italians did have a changed lineup today. Girelli was injured, therefore they didn't have their 4-3-3 lineup, which has served them brilliantly throughout the tournament with that high press. I think, they tactically got it wrong as well. But the Dutch looked fitter, they looked better adapted to the conditions, and they rightly deserved. They had far more shots and opportunities on net. A lot of shots on target as well, so their shot accuracy was pretty good. They were very accurate considering the heat and humidity today, and they fully deserved to win. Now, the Netherlands have now scored 5 goals from headers at this World Cup, which I think is more than any other team at the tournament. And also, all knockout games so far have been won by the team scoring first. There have been no come-from-behind wins at all in the knockout stages of this tournament. So that's another interesting stat. Let's see what Sweden and Germany can produce in a couple of hours' time, because I do believe the heat and humidity will still be a factor at 6, 7 o'clock in the evening when that game is due to be, the period of time that game is due to be played. I honestly do believe that. And the team that can adapt best to the heat and humidity is most likely going to win that game as well. That's a very evenly poised game with a German side that, even though they've got to this stage, haven't been completely convincing, and the Swedes also at times haven't been as convincing as they could be, considering the history of both those nations in women's football. So that could be a very interesting quarter-final. But for now, thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe, place your comments below, and I'll have some more videos for you very soon.